people don't necessarily know this, but there are two types of websites you can build. You can build a brochure website, or you can build a client attraction website. A brochure website is basically all about me, which is my business is great. We do great stuff. We're amazing service providers. We're this, we're that. But a customer is not necessarily caring about that. A customer wants to know, what can you do for me?
What's in it for me?
Exactly. So that's where a lot of people have these brochure websites, but not necessarily client attraction websites. The easiest way to turn your website into a client attraction website is to have content on there, again, which is valuable to the customer.
If you're a business owner, you may or may not already have your online presence created. There are some mistakes that can be made, and I don't want you to be making them when you're starting your business online. One of them is not knowing when to get your hosting. Think of your website as a building, and your hosting is the land that your building is on. It's wise, and it makes a lot more sense for you to make your website around the same time as when you get your hosting. There is no advantage to you getting your hosting, say, in January, but then you start your website in December. That time in between you're paying for, and you have to renew your hosting the year after. Another thing is this: if you already have your online presence, one mistake is you could be making is not actually collecting your leads via your website. This is not the same as general inquiries. A lead is me raising my hand and saying, I'm interested in your particular service. A general inquiry could be something like me asking you, hey, what year did you start your business? The two are not the same. So I've put together an easily digestible checklist of the 5 biggest mistakes you could make online and how to avoid them. It's called the Secret Web Design Checklist. Also, I've got a book, and it's called Starting Your Online Business the Right Way. Just go to oyemade.com/performance. That's oyemade.com/performance. And you see the options for the Secret Web Design Checklist and the book to starting your online business the right way. Hope you enjoy those. Now, let's get back to the episode.
How you doing, Coach T?
I'm doing good. I was like, where's the man
at? No, I was just getting some stuff ready because I had a call that just came in. I was like, I need to call you back after this. So
okay,
here I am.
Awesome,
how you doing?
Awesome. I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm sitting out here and the dogs are barking like crazy. There's like two dogs over there. There's one over here and then one was walking past. They were like going crazy. I don't know.
They knew we were about to do a bum ass live. That's why they're like, yo, let's get in there.
Yeah. So let's talk about this starting an online business thing. I was just chatting a little bit about what it takes and stuff like that. So what are some of the things that you believe that it really takes for a person to get their online business started?
I think really the first thing they got to do is they've got to make sure they've got a minimal viable product. So they've got the very basic version of whatever their service is or the product is, and basically see that they've got some sort of market that actually wants that. Because a lot of people be like, I've got an idea for a business, but there isn't actually a market for it. So I'm like, okay, cool. This is for the absolute beginner who doesn't have a business or anything. So I say, right, well, what you really need to do is make sure that you actually do have a business that is viable. You could do that with some sort of test. And then basically after that, like, okay, cool, it's working. The market wants what I've got to offer. Let's go ahead and make a website for it. After that, let's go ahead and make some funnels for it. So in a nutshell, those are the points I would say that you should consider in summary, or when you want to start or create your website.
Yeah, I agree. And I also can add on to that. So yeah, you have to figure out what it's going to be that you're selling and know that you have a market. But I also feel like it, depending on what you're selling, you have to have a connection to it, because it actually shows. Like if you don't really care about it, you don't research to learn more about it, you're not willing to bring everything to your audience, they're going to see that. And they're going to say, well, I don't know if this is my person that I actually want to buy this from. So depending on what it is. Now, of course, if it's a solid product where it's something that they, if it's a comb, okay, a comb is a comb. That's another story. But, depends on what you're selling. You have to either be connected to it or just have some really, have a lot of information about it, Yeah. So, I know, for me, I sell education. So I have to be passionate about what I'm educating on, and people have to know that so they can feel a connection to me as a person and to feel like I'm going to actually bring them the information that they need. Oh my gosh, you hear these dogs?
Yeah, I can hear the dogs barking. They agree with you. That's why they're like, go on, Coach T. Tell them.
I got it. That must be it. Okay, they can hear me.
That's definitely what it is.
Yes. Okay, so you know what I think we should do? Let's introduce ourselves as far as who we are and what we do. I said it just a little bit, but let's talk about who you are so they understand where this information is coming from.
All right, cool. Well, to everyone who's watching and anyone who's watching afterwards, my name is Oye, and I'm the CEO of Cubs Group. We're based in England, and we are a web design digital agency. We make high-performance websites for high-performance businesses, and then after that, we help them with generating customers and leads to their websites. So it's the full circle from how do you look on the internet to how do I get my customers on the internet. So, yeah.
Awesome. So today, guys, if you have questions about how to get this thing rolling, please feel free to add your questions to the comment area, and we will do our best to get you rolling. So Oye is over there in England.
I am indeed in sunny Manchester.
Yes, awesome. And I am here in sunny Florida. And
nice.
So I am Coach Tamika James. I have run many different types of businesses, mostly in the beauty industry. I've assisted entrepreneurs with planning and strategizing, still doing that. So I do that from a perspective of coaching, either for an individual one-on-one or in group sessions. So I basically help people to get their online businesses started. And I also have a group where we just talk about business. So it's either the online business or it's business in general. So I've created different spaces to help people, from the newbie or the person that is actually already up and running, but looking to do it from a different standpoint. So I really enjoy online business because it allows you to sit still, not have to move around. In the past, I've had, last year I changed my physical trade show over to a virtual show. So I've done a trade show for 13 years where, over thousands of people have come in to be educated physically. But I last year experienced having to turn that into a virtual show where there were over 70 classes over the course of the 2 days. And,
nice.
when I had to do that, I already was doing educational classes on a smaller scale, a class where it's one person teaching or up to 5 people teaching for a day. And to have to turn it into an online situation was just beautiful. So I'm only sharing my story because I want you guys to know where we're coming from and why we do what we do and how we can assist. So, Oye, what you want to talk about next, man? Now that they know who we are, what we do. So I help people to build it, and Oye actually will build it for you. So if y'all got questions, I need y'all to ask the people who can help you. Is anyone out there starting? What do you want to know? And what are you doing now? Go ahead, Oye. What else you want to talk about?
Let me see. I'm trying to think of what the usual questions I tend to get asked when I'm having meetings with clients and customers. One of them is what you said about should you show up with something that you're passionate about? That is something which I'm always 50-50 about, because I've said to some clients, I'm like, this passion I don't necessarily think is a business. Whereas another skill set that you may have, I think that's more of a business. Now, this is for the person who's like, I've got a 9-to-5, I get a good or decent salary for my 9-to-5, but I'm not fulfilled in that role. and I've been thinking about doing this business about X, Y, and Z. What do you think? And I'm like, okay, that particular business, I think is okay. However, what you actually have learned over the last 10 years in your 9 to 5, I think will sell better. Like, you can teach people how to be a consultant for whatever industry you're in. You can teach people how to be speakers in whatever industry you're in. You can teach people how to manage other people in whatever industry you're in. Like, you have Hertzberg's theory, Maslow's theory, all these sort of leadership training theories. So why can't you create one which is similar to one of those? And people will definitely pay you handsomely for that, as opposed to something which is a hobby that you do enjoy, but I don't necessarily think can make a decent enough living. So I've always been 50-50 on that, and I'm always about, it's more about context, because passion is good, but passion doesn't necessarily pay the bills if the business, going back to what I said earlier about, is there a market for it? If the business doesn't have a market, then really you're just going to be hitting your head against the wall. Well, it seems like we've got some questions coming in.
Yeah, before we go to those questions, I started this 30-day boot camp, and my people who they sign on, they come in with me and they start their online businesses. But I want to express something that happened. I had a young lady that joined, and she wanted to teach about something. But when I asked her how much are people going to pay for that thing, she was talking to an audience that would not pay her the highest rate. So now what I said to her was, well, who will pay you for this same information? So you got to think about who you're talking to when you decide to develop your business. So Oye made a really good point a moment ago about you can take something that you already know, like what you've been learning in life already, and make a business out of that. Because obviously someone that hired you, they hired you to be a part of that business. So teach someone how to do that same thing, and you can literally make a great living at that, just supporting other people. But if you're talking to the wrong audience, you're going to have a problem because they're not going to pay the highest value. So I'm going to tell you, for instance, let me see without telling all of her business. She wanted to show how to do something, but she wanted to share it with the layperson, how to do something. So the layperson, let's just say how to clean your nails, right? How to clean your nails.
Gotcha.
But that was really what she wanted to share. So instead of her telling the layperson how to clean your nails, which they may be willing to pay $10 for that class, if you teach the person who cleans the nails and keeps them in order, and they run a business taking care of the nails, they'll pay $500 for the same information that the end user would pay $10 for.
Gotcha.
So I just want to kind of share that with someone when you're thinking about what you're starting an online business on. So let's go to those questions. What do we have up? All right. We had, and guys, please keep adding questions. If you want to learn how to take care of your online business, get it started, get it going, keep it running. How can you increase and how can you increase your conversion rates?
Increase your conversion rates. Oh, sweet. Who asked that? I'm trying to find it.
Oh, that was St. Clair.
Oh, Dammy. That's my homegirl down here in England as well. She's in London. Everyone go check out Dammy. She'll hook you up with your hair and your empowerment and your growth. So I would say, Dammy, because you're in e-commerce, right? So I know you're in e-commerce. It depends on what ads you're running. So there are two ways of doing this. The organic way, and then there's doing it via the ads. So the organic way is you're actually creating valuable content which people are looking for. So for instance, again, because I'm not well versed in female hair, I can only use examples as a guy. So best ways, say the 5 best ways to grow your hair naturally at home. The top 5 foods to make sure my hair is glowy or silky smooth or whatever. The 5 tips that can make your edges look dope, like all those sort of things. Those are things that people will be looking for, and this is the organic way. So you show up as the authority in that particular subject space. You write about those subjects, you post them on your website, You post them on your Instagram. So obviously each platform is different. So you can either do a long video, post it on YouTube, break it down onto Instagram, break it down onto different places, your IG videos, your reels or whatever. And they're all about those topics. People will find those topics organically because people are looking for those sort of topics. And then they're like, okay, this person seems like they know what they're talking about. Then they check out a few other things, a few other things. And then they start going from knowing you, from never not knowing you, to now knowing you, to them liking you. And then they're like, okay, this person seems like they are the authority. What they're saying makes sense. Let me reach out to them and make a purchase if they have something that meets my needs. So that is the organic way. The ads way, depending on if you're doing Google ads or you're doing Facebook ads, is basically you're finding people who have an interest in your service or your product, and you're running ads to them. One strategy could be you run ads to people to get them on some sort of waiting list or some sort of, we're going to get a coupon list, or we're going to get something which you can build an email list on. So it's like, hey, be the first to know about VIP offers and blah, blah, blah for the first 200 people. And then you send them to that landing page to collect their emails and their names. Then you can then email market to them over time about different products, different things that you've got coming out. At the same time, also a lot of value. What's his name? Gary Vee has this thing about jab, jab, hook. So give them value, give them value, give them value, then ask for a sale. Give them value, give them value, give them value, ask for a sale. That's it via the email route. Doing it with just Facebook ads to conversions, I think it's a lot harder, but a lot of people do have a lot of success with it. I don't necessarily know the e-commerce route, because I know a lot of people just say, run Facebook ads and run conversion Facebook ads. But I think there's a lot more to it. And that particular bit on e-commerce with Facebook ads, I'm not perfect on that yet. So I don't want to advise you on something that I wouldn't say I do myself. Google, way easier. You're looking for people looking for your product. So you do it based on keywords. Who's looking for hair care? Who's looking for this? Who's looking for that? You take them to your website. You take them to landing pages. You collect their details. You collect sales. That's how you basically, as Jose would say, it's all about giving value. The person who gives the best value usually wins. So hope that helps, Demi.
That was good, Oye. That was really good. You said a lot of great things, and some things that I would have said too. And I appreciate everything that you just said, because you just kind of laid it out in a nice way for someone to understand. It's basically nurturing an audience, basically helping people, in other words, to know that you know your stuff, and
Yes,
to also to help them with whatever it is that they need assistance with. So because you know, and because you can help them, and because you have all of these touch points where it's that you are in their face, you're collecting their emails or their phone numbers, and you're communicating with them consistently, they see you as an authority on the thing, and they know that you can help them. So it's the little touches, and then eventually you do ask for the sale. And that whole thing with asking for the sale can come in a lot of different ways. It can be the small or the large sale. So hopefully a lot of you that are watching do have a low and a high ticket product that will allow you to, with the low ticket, you're going to have to get more people in to make a certain amount of money. The high ticket, you're doing a little less work with those particular clients that you're working with. But it's the nurturing. So that was really good what you said. You really laid it out. We have another question, which is, I already have a business website, but how can I get more people coming to my website? So I'll add a little bit, and I know that because Oye helps to build all of this stuff, he has a whole lot of answers, so I'll just add a little bit. So helping people to get to your website, the acronym SEO, search engine optimization, that is one of the things that a lot of us are not really paying attention to. And it's really crazy how we build websites and even landing pages, and we build them and we just let them sit there. But the real thing is that people find your websites and they find your landing pages. They find all of these things based upon the fact that you put these keywords and meta tags in there, in the background. They have a box that you can open up, and you put the words in there that are relative to the thing that you're doing. So if it's an online program, you'll put online program, specific words in regards to that thing, so that if someone's searching for it, the crawlers on the internet can actually find you. So don't neglect putting those words in on the back end of the site so that you can be found. And I know, like, putting them on several pages is another thing that a lot of people don't do. Some will just put the words in and just leave it. But if you have a website, your website has several pages that people can reach. You don't want it to just be on one page. Now, you can do it overall, but if you put it on each page, it makes you a little more reachable. Those are some things I want to add. I know you'll add some more, so I'll give you the floor, because people need to pay attention to this. We talking real talk. Y'all need to share this live out and follow us. And at the top of the screen, there's an arrow at the top. If you're not following myself or Oye, you can click and you can give us a quick follow to stay connected with us, because we're always giving value in regards to this topic. Okay, Oye, have the floor, man.
Cool. Very much appreciated, Coach T. So, yes, you want to bring more people to your website. You've built your website. Now, people don't necessarily know this, but there are two types of websites you can build. You can build a brochure website, or you can build a client attraction website. A brochure website is basically all about me, which is, my business is great. We do great stuff. We're amazing service providers. We're this, we're that. But a customer is not necessarily caring about that. A customer wants to know, what can you do for me?
What's in it for me?
Exactly. So that's where a lot of people have these brochure websites, but not necessarily client attraction websites. The easiest way to turn your website into a client attraction website is to have content on there, again, which is valuable to the customer. So it's not just homepage, about us, contact us, and services. You can have those. If we keep it at that, you have a brochure website. As soon as you start adding, in my service industry, here are 5 ways that you can get this result. In my service industry, which is dentistry, here's a unknown fact that if you eat, say, garlic, if you have a toothache, it can help you subdue the toothache until the morning when you can come into the office and we can help you with your emergency. You know, things like that, that would literally cause that person to go from point A to point B. They don't have to go from point A to point D or Z or G. Now, you just need to go from point A to point B. You just need to have that incremental help. And this is the free way of doing stuff. So again, you get the value, get the content, put the value in the content, and post that on your website. You have organic people coming in that way. Now, on top of that, you need to have, as Coach T said, you need to have your websites optimized for the search engine. And what that essentially means is it's like having a TV and you say you want this TV to be HD. And okay, cool, we'll make this TV HD ready. Cool, you've got it. The TV's now HD ready. Now that means that when you watch anything in HD, you're going to see it in the exact same color or the exact same picture crispiness that you need it to be in. Exact same thing with your website. You can search engine optimize your website, which means it's ready. And then when it goes on Google, Google's like, yeah, these guys actually, they did their thing. Yeah, cool. We're going to show them to as many people, as well as they've optimized their site. We will show. So basically, Google is like the librarian. And they're like, all right, cool. You want this book about what? About what? Dentistry? Let's go look in our library and see, okay, we've got these guys, and these guys. And they show you the 10 best guys at that point in time. And that's basically how you optimize your website. There's a lot more technicals to it, but I like to speak in a way that people can understand the analogy, and they're like, cool, I get this now. So that if they go and speak to someone who's a professional, they're like, I understand it enough to ask you the right questions. So yeah, optimizing your website, making sure you don't just have a brochure website, but you have a client attraction website. And a very good tool that you can use to kind of hit both nails on the head is it's called the Google Keyword Planner tool. And basically what that is, it's a free tool provided by Google. It tells you different keywords and the searches every month. So you can, again, using dentistry, you can go and type in dentist and it will show you like different topics about dentists. Toothache, show you different topics about toothache, whatever your service industry is. And then you know, okay, cool. This particular topic about toothache gets 5,000 people every month searching for it in my state. Let me write a blog about that. And then underneath that, there'll be other things like how to cure toothache straight away, best foods for toothache, best toothpaste for toothache, best mouthwash for toothpaste. And then you literally have like 10 different topics that you can write just from that one search. So it's called the Google Keyword Planner. And like I said, you will hit both nails on the head with having a website that has valuable content and is also optimized for the customers and traffic that you want coming to your website.
Oh, that was good. I need to add some more stuff to my site. Speaking of that, what you just said. But I want to add something to what he just said, which is he cleared up the fact that having that valuable content there is helpful. But I want to clear up the fact that you add your videos to Google, to YouTube.
YouTube, yeah.
Add your videos to YouTube, which is the largest search engine. Okay, guys, the largest search engine. People go to YouTube to find information. So if you create your video and you load it to your YouTube channel, you put in the right keywords there as well, and you load that video to your website, you're helping Google, which is YouTube. Y'all know that's the same company, right? You're helping Google, which is YouTube, to send people to your website. So there, Oye said it in a different way, you're going to become more visible in Google's realm. Yeah. So putting the video on your website, which is already on YouTube, is really, really extremely helpful. So that's another key to what he was just saying. Y'all, we got the info here. Like we just decided. Thank you for getting a badge. We just decided to get on because we're both coming from two different ends of the spectrum. Like I said, where Oye, in his business, he'll build it out for you. So you guys need to make sure you give him a quick follow at the top of the screen. You just, where you see the title, and you just click the arrow and give a quick follow and check him out. You can DM him and ask him questions, and he'll be happy to engage in a conversation with you to get you to where you need to be. Some of you want others to do it for you. You want you want a done for you service. Now, some of you want to do it yourself, and that's where I come in. So if you're looking to build these things on your own, and you're going to go slowly, and you're going to be willing to, like I said, do the work, then that's where I can help you. I have a 30-day boot camp, and I walk you through these things. So today we're talking about what it takes to have your online business. So you have to know what it is that you're aiming to do, what is it that you actually want to showcase to the world. And then you have to start doing the strategic things on the back end to actually get it up and running. So we were just talking about optimizing your website and different things that you can do. I hope that you guys are taking notes and that you're ready for this info. We had another question, right? Drop your questions in the comments area if you have any, and we are here to answer.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so someone said, thank you, Dia, for getting that badge. Someone said, how do you get people to come to your website? And I'm going to add something else because we went real technical on you guys, SEO optimization, put these keywords and meta tags, and we went that deep, right? But how do you get someone to come to your website? How about you just simply ask? So there's something, an acronym, which is CTA. It's a call to action. So literally, you guys can do a post, you can do a live, you can do a stories post, and you can ask people to go to your website. Now, I'll share something that I do from time to time. You can do a website review of your own website, guys. So if you don't know what to go live about, you can go live, you can open up your camera, and you can face your computer, and you can scroll through your own website, and you can tell people what's on it. So you can say, hey guys, I just want to let you know how to actually use my website. On our homepage, we're welcoming you and we're doing this. But if you really want to get into these programs that we have to offer because you need assistance with blank, I want you to click this tab. Now, hopefully once they get to your website, that they can maneuver through the site and figure out what they want. But that's not really what it's all about. What I'm saying right now is you're showing the audience that you have here on Instagram who do not go to your website that you have a website and what it looks like and what it can do for them. So Oye said something really good a little while ago. People want to know what is in it for me. So you want to share with them how, if they go to your website, what will they actually get. So doing the pretty much like an audit of your own site or a site review. Yeah. Oh, one more thing I can think of. So when I said a CTA, call to action, you can make a post, and at the bottom of your post, you can ask people to go to your website. Just simply ask them, visit the site. You can have deals, specials, different things as to why they need to go there. If you have some piece of information that is extensively shared on the website, so your Instagram on your regular page, you get 1 minute to share on a regular page. Why don't you show a little bit of the site and share with them that there's a video there that they can go and watch, and they can get a 10-minute video that gives them 10 tips on blank. Just go to the site, click the link, and then they can view the video. Yeah. How to get them there? Yeah, there's a lot of ways to get them there.
Yes, sir, 100%. And just to come back to that point and add more to what Coach T said.
All right, so whether you're a business owner providing a service or you're an e-commerce business with products, you know you need a website. The most common problems that I hear from business owners are they don't know where to start, or they're confused with all this person said this, that guru said that. It's all information overload, and it's forcing you to leave money on the table and not grow as quickly as you would like. Okay, let's bring some clarity to the situation. You're a business owner, which means your website is an asset that's meant to work for you round the clock, no lunch breaks. It should position you as the expert, attract the right type of customers, and have a system in place for those potential customers to book you for appointments, pay you for consultations and other services, as well as buy your products on your website. And even when someone doesn't pay you right there and then, it should have a follow-up system in place that allows you to collect that lead and then convert that lead later on down the line. And all of this needs to happen automatically in the background. Now, high performance businesses are the type of clients who tend to need these solutions, and they're the type of clients we already work with. So if you're in the 5-figure range, or you're already doing 6 to 7 figures, but you know you're not yet taking full advantage of the internet in the way that's right for your particular business, the solution is this. You need a high performance client attraction website for your high performance business. One that's custom made to work for you 24/7, whilst you focus on growing and scaling your business. So go to www.oyemadeit.com/performance, select the option for web design. Alternatively, you can go and click the link in the description, or there should be a link in my bio on Instagram. Remember, this is not for everyone. This is for businesses who are looking to level up, scale up their business, and stop leaving money on the table. We work with businesses that are a right fit and those that we believe we can help achieve their business and financial goals. So that's oyemadeit.com, oyemadeit.com/performance, or there should be a link in the description below, or there's the link in my bio on Instagram. We look forward to hearing from you and working with you. Now, let's get back to the episode.
So again, I always like to talk about the organic way and the paid way, because I know a lot of people will be like, right, I don't understand anything, but I just need it broken down for me. So you want more people come to your website, post content on free platforms that link back to your website. Example, on Instagram, you could just post, hey, I know all about X, Y, and Z. Here's some helpful information. To see more, click link in bio. Like that is probably one of the easiest ways to do it. Another thing you can do, and I'll drop some tricks here. You can type in whatever your industry is, whether you are teaching people credit repair, teaching people entrepreneurship, teaching people how to read books faster, teaching people how to take care of their hair, whatever it is. You could type that into Google and put forum at the end of it, or forum at the end of it, and it'll take you to a bunch of different forum websites where people are actually talking about that subject. So you have a bunch of different question and answer websites. Yahoo used to be a really good one, but they're taking theirs down. There are a bunch of other ones. There's Quora, and a bunch of other different ones where people are actually talking about whatever subject it is. You can literally go there, answer that question. If you give a good question, a good answer, again, content, if you give valuable content via your answer, you can put a link and it takes people back to your website. Another easy way is basically you really want to go to different places where your ideal customers are hanging out, and you let them know, hey, I'm here and I can help you. LinkedIn groups is another one. You can find a LinkedIn group which is around, again, your service industry or your product industry, and go in there. People will have questions. This is one thing, there's never a shortage of questions. So you will always be able to answer, because there's never a shortage of questions. So you go in there, you answer questions again, link back to your website. Make sure your profile's filled out so people don't think, is this a scam artist? Make sure everything looks good. Same way you have in your Instagram, everything looks good, everything looks normal, and then link back to your website. And the last one that I'll say, otherwise we'd be here for the rest of the day, is Facebook groups is another one. There are always people in Facebook groups talking about different things. Again, you can go in there and be like, hey, I do this, or I do X, or I do Y, and I can help. But the thing, again, with any single thing that you do, it's not a case of you're going straight for the close. If I was talking to a girl, I wouldn't say, hey, give me your number straight away, or hey, let me take you out straight away. I'd be like, okay, cool. Nice to meet you. My name's Oye, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, what do you do? Here's what I do, and you build that rapport slowly. I don't just go, hey, marry me. I'd be like, nah, here's my name. All right, cool. You know what I do. Here's my number. Maybe we can keep talking later on. I'm going to hit you up on Instagram. I'm going to hit you up on WhatsApp. We exchange. All right, cool. I'm free next week. Should I take you out to the cinema? Do you want to go for a restaurant? So you go through that same process in business. It's the exact same thing. You're dating your customers. So you give them value. And then they'll be like, hey, this person must know a lot about this. Let me go see what more they can offer. They go to your website. Yeah, this person is the authority. That same template works in anything or any business, essentially. So that's how on the organic side, you get people to your website. On the paid side, you pay Google, you pay Facebook for traffic to your website. And obviously there's a lot more to it, but that is it essentially on the paid side. You can pay Facebook, you can pay Instagram, you can pay Google, you can pay Snapchat. Any of those places, TikTok, any of those places to get traffic to your website. There's traffic everywhere. So, yeah. Hope that helps, guys.
Yeah, so look, either you smooth or you pay to play. Okay?
It is. It's one of those two things. You're either paying with your time or you're paying with your paper.
That's right. And, one of the things I think that's really tough for a lot of entrepreneurs, especially startups, is that you do want to go fast. You want to be like, I just want it. But we all have to take a look at the fact that we don't all jump head first into most things that we are exposed to. We basically say to ourselves, let me see what they're all about. So I can share with you guys. Oh, and thank you for getting a badge. Who was that? St. Clair's Hair. Thank you for getting a badge today.
Damn it.
So, yes, thank you, Tammy. So when we all get started with I wanted to share this. Now I remember what I was going to say. I have people who are buying from me who met me a couple of years ago. Here is what I want everybody to hear. When people get to the moment that there's something that you have that they actually need, and it shows up in a way that they feel like it's going to be something they need right now, they're ready to buy. So you have to continuously show up with your business to let people know who you are and what you do. Even if you do multiple things, consistently show up, sharing what you have and what you do. And just be patient, guys, because I'm telling you, I've been in business for years. And then the reason why I know this information is because people tell me, I've been following you for years and blank. So a lady specifically told me recently, she's been following me for years, but in the beauty industry, I was doing hair extensions at the time, right? And that was my main nature of business was teaching people hair extensions. She didn't do hair extensions. She was in the beauty industry, but she loved everything I said about business, about operating procedures, all types of things. But I didn't have a product for her at the time. And she said to me, you now have something that I can buy from you because I couldn't buy the hair extension stuff. So who you are as an individual, as a business person, and whatever it is you're bringing to the table, stay in there. Stay in there. And even if they're not your audience, they have to, at some point in time, maybe refer you to someone else. So you still need to show up. Keep showing up. And then also here, CTA, ask people to send your info to other people. I may not be for you that's watching me right now, but somebody needs what I have. That's the perspective that you gotta, that's the face you gotta put on when you come up. I might be for you or someone else. Share me.
Yes, sir. 100%.
Someone else said the same thing. I remember I've been following you for years. Yeah. Absolutely.
Facts. Yeah. Facts.
So Oye, when people, how does a person determine that they're gonna get you to do their stuff? Like, what point do they say, I don't want to do this, I want this company to work it out for me? Like, where are they in their business where they say, this is what I want to do?
Interesting enough, they could be at any stage in the business. You know, it usually is a case of their website isn't working for them the way they wanted it to work. And that is because a lot of people don't know the difference between having a brochure website and having a client attraction website. Because when most web designers make the website, they don't necessarily, even they themselves don't necessarily know the difference. The difference with me is because I was an entrepreneur first before I became a web designer. That was a skill I built up after being an entrepreneur first. Like, I was one of those kids in school who had the chocolates, and everyone at lunchtime, they came to me and like, hey, Tease, if you got some? I'm like, yep. And it was one of those never get high your own supply, because the particular chocolates were penguins and I didn't like them. So I was like, you know what? It was literally a day I brought them to school and I was like, I don't like these. And I just left them. I was like, I'll buy them off you. I was like, all right, cool. Here we go. This might be a little business I've got here going. So I was an entrepreneur first before web design. So I understand it backwards. So I can say to people who are business owners, right, cool, I know exactly where you're trying to get to. Here's how it will work for your particular business. And then I'm like, right, now I understand it. That's why I know the difference between a client attraction website and a brochure website. Because even when I made my first website, I was like, this needs to be able to attract people to it. So how do I attract people to it? It looks good. How do I attract people to it? So I then went on that journey and I was like, right, cool. Now I have the complete package. I know how to create it. I know how to make it look good. Now I know also how to attract people to it, both either via the organic means or the paid means. So yeah, so most people usually, it's when they figure out that it's not working the way they want it to work, or they started their business and they're brand new and they're like, right, we need a website for our business. And I explain to them, right, here's how it'll work and here's what you need. Because at the same time, people have websites and people also have funnels. The two are actually needed for you to actually get customers online. Because a website is basically a client attraction website. It tells the customers what you can do for them, and it also tells the customers what you're about. A funnel is essentially selling a particular service that you have already on your website to specific customers that want that service. So it could be, again, using Dam as an example, she has hair care and she has self-care. She could be selling haircut stuff to people who only want hair care. She can be selling self-care stuff to people who want the self-care side of things. And then she can sell it to both. So those are just 3 layers of the customers that she has. So yeah, that is essentially it in a very small nutshell.
So, all right, so now you guys know why you should connect with Oye and have him to get you started, rolling, and keep you going. When you just mentioned the word funnel, I know a lot of people are trying to figure out funnels. Like people have been hearing it. And you know, the funniest thing is until most recently, I guess over the last, 2 years, maybe 2 years or so, that I've just really, really figured out what it is and how to use it. So you spoke about the beginning, the tip part of it, which is getting people to understand what you do and connecting with them. But then there's the deeper part of a funnel, which is what people need to understand, is that once you get people in your raft, right, you get them in there, you want to do that nurturing and you want to stay in touch. And here's what I want to say to someone who's listening. You end up getting on other people's email list or their text list, and they contact you. And you're not dying because they're sending you emails or text. You're not dying. You even make a choice to just keep looking at them, opening them or not, or to unsubscribe. You make that choice. But this is where I think most entrepreneurs go wrong. You don't want to do it because you feel like you're going to bother someone. And you have to understand that in business, it is all about the touch points, continuously staying in touch, because you don't know the day that you poke someone and they need what you have, and they've been under your wrath for years, like I just said. And then it's that moment in time and they say, I'm ready for what they have to offer. And then they're in. So I just wanted to share that when you just said the word funnel, because it means a lot. And I just wanted to share that and like just be transparent that I didn't always understand it. I took a lot of classes. I've been to a lot of different conferences to gain this information. And no, you don't learn it overnight. You just don't. But to know that this information is something that will help to grow your business, you have to connect to at least one of us to be able to move forward. Because if you meet someone today and you never call them again, then what? They never have another reason to come back to your website, then what? All of these things. And Oya, you're making me want to do something. So look, forget about these people that are watching us, right? I just want to talk to them. Forget about them, okay? So sorry, y'all just got to pretend like we're just here. So Oya, I know you were mostly talking about the content that you would put on your website where you are helping people to understand something, right? What do you feel about that being on landing pages? Because I asked this question because most landing pages have the salesy type thing. Hey, this is why you want to buy. And look, and we all falling into the trap, right? But landing pages, just real quick, I'm going to talk to the people for a second. A landing page gives you an opportunity to create a quick opportunity for your audience to see exactly what you're selling without them seeing nothing else. Your landing page can say, this is the one thing I want you to see. I don't want you to know about the 10 other things I do. Not today, not right here. Just look at this, right? So with the landing page, and even if it's a place to sell the thing, do you think it's good to go ahead and put some of those videos? Because I'm sitting here thinking that maybe I should make some content that would be helpful on the landing page.
Right. So here's my take on landing pages, right? There isn't actually a right or wrong way, because the problem with landing pages is you got to test different iterations. But what I find works is this. You have a video at the start. So you want to have your main title at the top, which is like, what great solution you provided, right? Then I think you should have a video that reiterates what that title is. So say with you, Coach T, it's about your 30-day thing. And like, hey guys, welcome to my video. Thank you for coming, stopping by, right? I know you want to know about business, right? In this course, here's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to talk about this. We're going to be talking about that. I know people have these type of problems, and this is what we're going to do to tackle them. Now, if in that video, you can also move someone from point A to point B, for instance, you can tell people something about, there's a difference between having an LLC and being a solo entrepreneur or sole proprietor. And people are like, what are those? And they explain to them, LLCs, you're a company, and then you have limited liability. So say, for instance, your business doesn't do as well or whatever, it's the business. Whereas if you're a sole proprietor, it's you and basically everything that you own. If you've got any debts in the business, they come for you as opposed to the business. You know, so some of that just moves on from point A to point B in that simple, like 1 minute, like, oh, wow, I didn't know that. But that's, again, value in that video. So people are like, yeah, she seems like she's good, you know? And again, it's just creating that pre-frame for people to think, yeah, I think this person, I do want to go ahead and put in my details and what's the webinar. Where I struggle is on the landing pages that have like 1 million testimonials.
Please stop it, guys. I can't take it. I don't need to see 20 of them. Oh my God.
You know, it got 1 million testimonials. They've got 1 million of these. We got 1 million of these. And I'm like, okay, cool. But the thing with me is, whenever it comes to testimonials, and I'm sure a lot of people have the same thing, they just feel like, it was just one of your boys that you said to, yeah, it might be a business, but I don't fully, like, I'm 50%. I'm like, okay, I get it. These are good. These are good. You've done this for this, but what can you do for me? Is this going to work specifically for me? That's what I want to know. And that's what usually that video is able to do, because you're kind of speaking to people who may have issues that they didn't even know about. For instance, the difference between an LLC or being a sole proprietor, you know, that sort of thing. Or even if it's a case of, if you didn't know, here's like, we had this thing in Manchester called the Growth Hub, and we've got a Chamber of Commerce here. And the Growth Hub had mentoring programs for young entrepreneurs or even older entrepreneurs. Now, if I was a coach and I put that on my landing page, it's like, hey, also, did you know you can get free mentorship, blah, blah, blah. Here's how you go about doing it. I know a bunch of people who converted, like, yeah, this guy knows what he's talking about, because I didn't know we could get that. So yeah, let's go ahead and get that. It's just those simple things of moving from point A to point B that can help. I don't think it's bad to have testimonials. I don't think it's bad to stack like the value, but I think the first half of it really does more than the bottom half. That's my opinion. Whether that's right or that's wrong, I can't say for sure, but for me specifically, that's what works for me. So I would say your title should be appealing. That first video that you have, either on the left or on the right, should also be appealing, depending on what landing page you have, because it depends on what you're selling. If you're doing a webinar, you want people to click and then go and watch the webinar on the next page or whenever it is you scheduled it for. If you want people to download your free plus shipping book, then they enter their details on the right. You make that. To be honest, that's probably easier. You don't need as much stuff. It's stuff like the webinar, and if people are gonna book a coaching call and all those sort of things, where the higher, I guess, the ticket is, the more value you need to create in that top fold, in my opinion. Whether you need to add 3 million testimonials, 3 million stacks, and then the value is 20 grand, but for you today it's $9.97. I don't necessarily know. They must work because that's what all the top gurus do. For me, necessarily, that's not really what I do, because I don't have a coaching program, so I don't know. So I can't necessarily say, but if it's working for the other peeps in the industry, then it must work. What I do know, and this I know universally, is if I can provide value and move that person from point A to point B, they will believe me more than somebody else who doesn't. So that's what I would say.
Okay. Well, I really think I'm gonna create some other type of video to put on my landing page, other than just telling people what the program is about. I'm just thinking I'll do something where I'm expressing, which is what people do with the webinar thing. They say, watch this webinar. The webinar gives all of this value, but you got to get them to the webinar. So I'm just thinking, like, I might want to just, go straight at it on my landing page at the beginning part, and just share what the program is about, and also give some actual tips right there. So if anybody is listening and you want to kind of follow what I'm saying, no matter what, here's the thing. Create some videos somewhere that have value, that let people know something that they need to know how to do, so that they know that you have the answers and that they can get value from you. Because when people see that you provide value in small snippets, they can only imagine, when they're ready to pay you, what it is that they'll actually get. I want to share something. I watched something yesterday and it inspired me so much to make a post. Here's something. So we're starting these online businesses, which is what we're talking about. Oye said it best. People want to know what's in it for them. But what people really want to know is, people are attached to feelings. How do I feel when I get this product, when I get this course, when I sign on to learn this thing? Do I feel like I'm really going to get what I actually need? And if a person can feel that and they can understand what you bring to the table, that will change up how they connect with you and why they buy from you. So I'm going to go ahead and say this, and Oya, you can add something for you if you want to afterwards. When people connect to me, they really connect. Like when people are in my program and we're in there, we're on Zooms, I'm making sure people are fed. Like I don't just share information. I need to know, are you good? I need to make sure you're in a space where what you just received, do you understand it? Are you ready for the next step? Like I don't just teach just to push information out. So like I was in my membership this morning and I shared a lesson with them. And what I said to them was, how are you going to use this? Now, all day long, I could just teach it and I could shut the thing down. But my question is, how are you going to use this info? And do you have more information? So people want to know, do they get a good feeling as well? And if you can provide that, people, will be really excited.
True that. This is very true. I 100% agree with that. You've got to be able to create a great experience for the person who you are looking to work with. So I just see one of my boys, he just sent a message, hi from Zimbabwe. That's DJ G2. He's not from he's not from Zimbabwe. He's he's outside. He's outside here in Manchester.
Hello, Mr. Manchester neighbor. Oh yeah, we have a question. We have a question, which is oh wait, I lost it, but I know what they said. How do you know if you should create your own landing page or hire someone to do it for you? I'll let you take that question.
Depends on what funds you've got. And when I say funds, I'm saying it's one or two things. Either you're going to spend your time to learn how to do it, or you're going to spend your paper to someone to get it done for you. The person you're going to pay. It's like you don't even need me to create a website. You can go create a website yourself. But the thing is, do you know how to create a website to the way that you want it to look like? That is the difference. Anyone can draw, but is everyone an artist? That's basically what it is. You know, anybody can draw, but is everybody an artist? Or you're going to hang up your drawing in a gallery. So it's a case of, if you want to do a landing page yourself, you can do it. You can. Coach Tamika says she learned how to do funnels over the last 2-3 years. If you've got that time, then go ahead. You can literally learn anything today. But then the experience is what you're paying for. If you're paying someone like me, I could tell you, right, we could get this done in 3-4 hours. If you're going to go learn it, you're probably going to take at least 30 hours to learn at least what the funnel is. Then you need to learn what type of funnel you need. Then you need to learn what type of lead generation magnets you're going to do. You need to learn how to do lead generation. So whereas with me, in 3 hours, I've done it for you. You, in 30 hours, you're probably still scratching the surface. So realistically, can you spend more time to do it, or will you spend paper to do it? That's what it comes down to on most things. So that's
well. And that is actually the truth of the matter. But even with what he just said, how much time do you have? And here's another thing, when you think about whether you pay someone or you learn, how often are you going to do that thing? So I'll tell you this. If you know that you're going to do this thing one time and you don't really plan to like continuously, do this thing over and over, in that case, 9 times out of 10, it's probably best to have someone to do it for you. Because if you're going to spend 30 hours learning to do it one time, then what's the point? If you know that you're going to consistently create things, like for me, I'm consistently doing different types of things in business. And on Sidebar, I do stuff for people, like certain things. Like, I don't even want to talk about it. It ain't got nothing to do with what we talking about. But I do done for you things for people that I don't talk about in the public because it can't be on the forefront. But at the end of the day, I had to learn how to do things for different reasons. So what is your reason for either just letting it go, and what's your reason for actually learning so that you can do it over and over? So that's how I look at it. And thank you, Spiritually Dope. Yes, I am here. We are here for you guys. So we decided to just be here to share info. We'll come back at another time and just share anything with you guys. Thank you for asking your questions today. And we just hope that your businesses are either getting ready to come to life, or that they are ready to grow to another stage, or something of that nature, and that they are going to be well maintained. So if you don't want to do it, call Oye. Click at the top of the screen, guys, where you see the title. There's an arrow. Click it. You'll see both of our names. You can give either one of us a quick follow. Whoever you want to follow, that's up to you. And if you want to do it yourself, you can get into my 30-day boot camp, and I'm going hard. I'm going hard. Listen, let me tell you another thing that is going on. I go live personally sharing information on how to do the thing. So you can stay connected to me to get that piece of information. Oye, what do you actually share on like social media in regards to what you do?
I usually share a lot of stuff to do with entrepreneurship, mindset, and then web design, because I'm all about you creating yourself as an asset, as opposed to you just posting stuff like random, especially in my industry specifically. Like, I wouldn't post about teaching, oh, here's what you do with HTML, here's what you do with coding, because I'm not teaching coding. I'm teaching entrepreneurship, essentially. I'm teaching you how to take your business and put it online. So I post a lot of stuff about mindset, a lot of stuff about the actual websites, what they look like when they're done, a lot of stuff about like just getting your mind right, your self-motivation. Those sort of things tend to be what I do, and a lot about trusting yourself. I have a podcast called Trust Thyself, and when that actually properly launches, these are the type of conversations I will be having. A bunch of different things, and sometimes stuff that people ask us questions about, like what I said earlier. Another actually really good question that people ask me is, how do I monetize my website? Because some people get their websites and they're like, okay, how do I monetize it? And just for anyone here who's thinking about that, there are a bunch of different ways you could sell advertising, but this depends on if you've got enough traffic coming to your website. You could sell an ebook about, say, something really simple. Say, for instance, you've got a website about, I don't know, you're a chef. You can sell the recipes. And this, again, goes back to what we're saying. People can buy the recipe, but may not be able to do it exactly the way that you do it, just because they don't have that experience. Even if they follow the tutorial from beginning to end, the way it tastes when they come to your restaurant will still be different from the way it tastes when they make it. That's just how it is. So you've got ads, you can sell ebooks, you can sell done for you templates that you've made about different things. There are a bunch of different ways. So it just depends on what your particular industry is, whether it's a service or a product. There are a bunch of different ways for you to actually monetize your website. And these are income streams into your website whilst you sleep. Also, there is stuff like, not OnlyFans, what's the other place called? Patreon. Yes, so basically you could have subscription content where people pay you to see different things. Like, say, for instance, I could be doing these sort of conversations every other week, and people could see the extra director's cut content, which is I'm going into deeper things on my Patreon. And also, for a lot of people out there with regards OnlyFans, you can actually have OnlyFans, which is about normal stuff like yoga, teaching people meditation, all that sort of stuff. So don't let the name scare you into jumping onto that particular platform, because I know a lot of people will make a lot of paper from it because they have a lot of traffic coming in and not that many competitors, because a lot of all their competitors are thinking, oh, it's only for a certain type of content, whereas actually you've got yoga, meditation, people learning how to play instruments, people learning languages. So again, that's just a piece of information for people out there.
Yeah, that was good stuff. Thank you, Diva Styles, for getting us edge today. Thank you so much. So we came and dropped the value on you guys. I want to share, I don't know if Dia is still here. If you are, say yes, so I can talking to you. Dia was asking about creating a landing page, and one of the things that I most recently did was I wrote an ebook, and it is helping you to learn how to create a digital product. So it's a free ebook, and you guys can actually download it from bit.ly/CADP free. CADP free. Yeah, I know that's a lot for me to say. But
yeah, even I got confused.
I know, even I didn't even want to say it. I didn't want to do that because really, here's what I want to say. I just loaded the ebook yesterday, and I put it in my story. So I have swipe up ability, which I want you guys to work really hard to get your 10,000 followers so that you can put things in your story, and then you can put the link to them and let people swipe up. So I believe because it's been less than 24 hours, it should still be in my stories. You can go in there, swipe up, and actually get it. I'll put it back in when I get out of here. But the other place I'm going to put it, the link to it is going to be in my link in my bio. I'm going to put it in here. I just didn't get to it yet. So I didn't even plan on talking about it. But free ebook. So what Dia asked about creating a landing page in my ebook, I have a video in the ebook that shows you how to create a landing page. So guess what? Get the ebook, watch the video that's in there amongst the other pieces of information that's in the ebook, which is called How to Create a Digital Product, and How to Easily Create a Digital Product is the name of the ebook. And there's a video in there. Try it. If it works for you, then go for it. If it doesn't, then you need to call Oye. You need to let him do it for you. I'm just saying, you got two options right now. You're going to try it, or you're going to just pay someone to do it. And sometimes what happens, you watch the thing that tells you how to do it, and you discover that it is not something that you personally want to do. Sometimes you discover, oh, I have the energy, the time, and the ability to actually do it, and I'm going to go for it to learn it myself. All of you are going to be different. We don't push one thing off on you or the other, but you have to know who you are. And wherever you sit, that's where you sit. All right.
Exactly.
Oye, thank you for joining today. This has been a really good conversation.
It has been. Thank you for having me.
Yes, yes. All right, well, we're going to get ready to close out. Make sure you follow us if that's what you desire to do. And we'll talk to you guys later.
Catch y'all later.